Hi, my name is Crystal, and I've been getting lots of responses from people on Tumblr wanting to know how I do a smooth skin and a smooth picture finish. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you that in this basic tutorial. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to open up Photoshop. That's what I use. I use CS4. You can use any Photoshop that you want. You can download it for the 30-day trial, or you can buy it. Alright, and while that's loading, you can also find the picture that you want to use for a more smooth finish, especially if you're focusing on the person's skin. The best pictures are close-up shots. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to open. You can go to File, Open, or you can double click on the gray area. Alright, and we're going to go find the picture that I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to use a picture of Shay Mitchell. She's one of the actresses from Pretty Little Liars. And this is actually a photo taken at the Teen Choice Awards a couple of nights ago. Alright, so we have the picture that we're going to use. Like I said, a close-up shot is always the best if you want to show the detail in the skin. And we're going to crop. I want to get rid of this yellow border here. So we're going to use the cropping tool, which is this here. And we're going to crop it however we want it. I also have this Just Jared logo. I'm going to put the actual source when I post the picture to Tumblr. But I want to get rid of this on the actual picture. And by doing that, you're just going to go to your magnifying tool here, and you're going to do actual pixels, which it makes this picture. If your picture is big enough, you'll be able to do this. If not, you can just zoom in. And I'm just going to use the same layer, and I'm going to take the eyedropper tool, which is on the left, and I'm going to get the same color. As you can see, this is the same color here. I'm going to take the paintbrush, the brush tool, and I'm going to use a soft tip brush. The hardness is 0, the diameter is 27, doesn't matter how big it is, as long as you're covering it up. I'm just going to go over it. Let's make the hardness a little bit more. Make the hardness about 29, so we can get this done. I'm just going to go over, and as you can see, it blends in perfectly. I want to get rid of this blue on the side. More hardness. And it blends in perfect. Now the shadow is covered. You want to make this look real, so we're going to go over it with the eraser, which we can do. So we didn't duplicate it, but whatever. Anyway, it's covered, and you can, if you duplicate it, you can just go back and erase it, but no one's going to be paying attention to that. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to go to the image above, because you're going to try to make this the same size that is required for Tumblr, which is 500. So you're going to go to image size, and you're going to come to this box. You're going to click the constrain proportions. This makes sure that even though you make the width smaller or bigger, your height will come together proportionate. So we're going to make this, like I said, on Tumblr it's 500. To be on the safe side, I'm going to do 600. Only because the height is so tall, so either way it's going to fit perfectly on there. So we're going to do 600 instead of 500. Okay, and we're going to fit the screen. Alright, so these are the steps that I use to make my picture more vibrant and more out there. I like to use the adjustments. You can use a PSD if you want to, but I like to manually make my colors pop, because at least I know what I'm doing. With a PSD, you're going by the picture that the person showed you how they used it. If you want to use a summer PSD or something with yellow, feel free, but I'd rather do it manually, so at least I know what I'm going to do. And by doing that, you can fast forward this if you don't want to know, but by doing that, I go to adjustments, and I usually use the levels. You can use brightness or the curves. These three are best, and figuring out how bright or how much exposure, darkness, or lightness you want. But the best for bright pictures like this, I like to use levels because I have control of which parts I want to level. And you're always going to start with your middle thing here, and you're going to slide it to the left. This is going to give you your brightness of the overall picture. And I want her skin complexion to stay the same. I want it to be as if you were in public with her. Okay? And you're going to take the left one, you're going to slide over to make it just a little darker. And this only, as you can see, it affects the dark spots. It affects her hair and her eyes and things of that nature. Alright? And then we're going to take the right one, which is the white, and we're going to slide over. This affects the brightness of the overall picture itself. I want it to not be too bright. Alright. Next, you're going to click this arrow first to go back, and you're going to click selective color. Selective color, it pinpoints the certain colors that you want to pop. I always choose my colors that are more, if that's the right term, in the picture. As you can see, the yellow pops out more in the picture, so I will do my yellow first. So I will go down to this color box and I will click on yellow. As you can see, it has all the colors that are mainly in pictures. These colors are the most found in pictures, photographs. So I will use yellow, and you would just move these to your liking. As you can see, this affects the yellow portions, her brown highlights, and also her dress. And I want her dress to pop, so I want to make that the most yellow. Second one, you're just going to play around with that until you get it to your liking. And I want this to be the brightest yellow. Remember, we're focusing on yellow, so it will only make sense for the yellow here to be more. And then the black is basically if you want to be washed out or you want it to be brighter. I want that bright yellow, but I don't want it to be too dense. So we're going to go about here. Alright, and then you're going to go to the drop down menu again, and we're going to pick the next color. And I can see the cyans and the blue, so we're going to do cyans first. And we're going to pick the cyan. As you can see in the corner, it's actually changing color here. Every little detail in the picture matters, and it only messes with that color. It doesn't mess with any other color in the picture, just the color that you clicked on. You're going to do the dark blues. Like I said, you can fast forward this if you don't feel like this is helpful, but this is something that I do. It helps me pinpoint the colors, and I have a big understanding of what colors I want done which way. Now we're going to do the pink, and most time this is dealing with red, and this also has to do with her skin. So if you find out that you don't like this red, you can always go back down to the pink and do it. Since the Fox logo is pink, we're going to see what happens. Okay, the red, it makes her hair red and brown. It messes with those colors. I mean, we can do that if we want. This is the color. See, it's really messing up, and you just go back and you can just don't press the undo. So if you press this undo, it's going to undo everything that you just did. So just go back and put 0 in, and it'll just take that away, and it'll go back to normal, and you can just go down to the pink and do the pink. As you can see, it makes it darker. Alright, And so then you're going to press the back arrow here. You're going to go to layers, and as you can see, you have your level 1 and your selective color. In some Photoshops, there are levels 1 and levels 2, and then the selective color. It does not matter. It does not have to look like mine. As long as your picture is the brightness that you want, it's perfectly fine. Okay, you're going to go to background, and you're going to right click, and you're going to flatten this image. Now it's permanently done. You can go back and change it, but it's perfect the way you want it. That's why it says better to do the levels, because at least you know what you're doing and you know what colors you want. Now we're going to get into the skin smoothing. Once you become familiar with this, it will probably take no more than 2 minutes to do skin smoothing and be done with it. Now mine is a little bit more complicated because I just don't go to filter, blur, and then whatever. I actually, you know, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to duplicate the background. You can go to right click, duplicate, and press OK, or you can go to layer and duplicate. Either way is fine. You're going to go to filter, and you're going to go down to noise, and you're going to go over to median. A box should pop up, and in this box it will show the blur effect. Not really blur effect, but it will show a somewhat blur effect. You can actually see it on the bigger picture. Basically what this is showing is what the skin will look like smooth. You can either go 1 or you can go 2. Depends on how smooth you want your skin to be. Now it won't look like this. It's just the skin part. The eyebrows won't look like that, and none of that. It's just the skin, you know, things of that nature. For close-up shots, the best type, depending on how much detail you want to mess with, will be the 1 or 2 radius. If you have a more distant picture of a with a group of people, 1 is perfect. If you have with just one person and there's a whole bunch of things in the background, 3, 4, depending on. But when you do this blur, you want to make sure you're able to see the detail. You don't want it to be 31 and there's nothing there. You know, you can still see detail, but it's blobs. You know, for her, if I were to put like 5, I mean, I can still see details, but it looks so fake. So 1 or 2 is perfect. I'm going to do 2 for her because she has more detail. Well, not more detail, but less detail. If she had more detail like straps or something else or anything in her clothing, 1 would be perfect. And you're going to press OK. Now you're going to go to your layer, and you're going to go down to layer mask. Not vector mask, but you're going to layer mask. And you're going to click on reveal all. Alright, and you should get this white box here. Alright, and it should be locked. It should not be unlocked. If you click on it, it would unlock. You need to have the lock effect around the box. Alright, then you will go back, you will go to image, and then you go down to apply image, and you will have another box that said apply image. Now as you did that, you will see that your photo now has that smooth skin. If we take it off, you will see blurry, image, apply image, skin, smooth. Okay, you will go, now here for the layer, you're going to have background, of course, and you're going to see how that switches. You have the merged. You look at her eyes. Merged is, is everything is smooth except for everything on her skin is smooth except for her hair. Background, everything is smooth completely. You can invert this and have just her hair smooth, or you can have just her face smooth, which is what we want. You don't want it to be multiplied. You want it to be normal. You want this to look as real as possible. You want the 100, no mask. Invert, you can do invert. It's whatever you want to do. but I'd rather have the invert unchecked. And we're going to press OK. As you can see up here in this box, we have a black and white version of the color picture, which is what we need. We're going to go down to filter once again, and we're going to go to stylize, and you're going to go over to find edges, and you're going to click that. What that basically is going to do is it's going to find the edges of the picture, and it's going to smooth it out. It's going to, because basically when you do a blur, you see blur, and find the edges finds the lips, the nose, the mouth, and it takes that blur off, where the blur is only applied to the skin, the hair, the picture, but not to the eyes and everything like that. And you'll have like a little sketchiness pad over here, like you've been drawing with a pencil. That's perfect. Alright, and that's pretty much it. But we have one more step. You're going to go to filter. You're going to go down to blur, and you're going to do a Gaussian, if I'm saying that right, I don't know how to pronounce it, blur. You're going to do 1.0 pixels every time. Basically what this does is it softens up the lines more to make it look more natural. And you're going to press OK. And that's it. And you have your smooth skin. And to prove my point, we're going to pull up the original. Alright, we're going to put this side by side, and as you can see, before and after, the skin is more smoother here. You can see all the colors. There's also something else that I love to do, depending on the picture. I like to flatten it, and I like to duplicate it, and to make her eyes pop more, because yes, the dress is the main focus, but to make her eyes pop more, I'm going to go over here on the side and click on a round circle, like a lollipop, and you're going to click on the dodge tool, or you can just press the letter O, whichever one works better for you. We're going to zoom in first, get this in there, and we're going to try to get about the size of her eyeball. You want to have a soft hardness, about 26. You want to have mid-tones, 52 exposure, and you're going to go around the pupil and you're going to click twice, depending on how bright the eyes are. Her eyes are more brown, so I would do about 2 or 3 times. If it's green or gray, you do once, depending on how much you want. And that will brighten the eyes more. Okay. And you're going to actual pixels, or fit screen, and you see her eyes pop more. You can also just flatten this, I don't want to mess that up. Duplicate again. You can also do a sharpen. The sharpen makes a big difference also. You can have the smooth skin where it looks like nothing's been touched, or you can have the sharpness and it sharpens just a little bit more of the picture. It doesn't make a whole big difference, but it makes a difference depending on what you're doing. And that's pretty much it. And you can add your little watermark to it, which if you got it from someone else, don't do that. Give your source, give props to whoever came up with this picture, and that's it. And here's the before and here's the after. So anything else you want me to do, any other tutorials, criticism, leave it. I love criticism. It helps me make better tutorials for you. I'm here to help you. So do that. Thumbs up, comment, share, do whatever y'all do. Alright, bye.